Hello, I'm Ms. Kennedy, and today I'd like to talk to you about playing a game I called Train when I was growing up. It's a great game to play when it might be too hot to play outside or too rainy, or where I grew up too snowy to play outside. But there's a story about how I started playing Train. I grew up in a small town outside of New York City, and my grandmother and my uncle lived in Brooklyn, which is part of New York City. And they would come out and visit us for weekends or weeks at a time. And they always took the train out to my town. And I really liked going with my mom or dad down to the train station to pick them up and hear about their train trip out from Brooklyn and what they might have seen and what the train was like. And one day, the year before I started kindergarten, my mother realized that while my sisters and my brother had been on the train, I had never taken the train, because by the time I came along, my dad drove us into the city instead of taking the train. So my mom decided that before I started kindergarten, she and I would take the train into Brooklyn to visit my grandmother so I could see what it was like to be on a train. I was really excited the morning that we went down to the train station after my brother and my sisters had gone to school. My mom bought our tickets, and then we went to the waiting room, which was high up, and I could look down on my town and watch the cars go by. And when the train came into the station, we waited for it to stop and for the conductors to tell us it was safe for us to come on the train. We found our seats. And when we settled in, the conductor came by, and my mother handed him our tickets, and he used a hole punch, very much like this, that was attached to his belt, and he clipped our tickets. And my mother said, "This is my daughter's very first train ride." And the conductor said, "Well, we'll make sure it's a nice train ride." A few minutes later, the conductor came back, and he had a stack of tickets like this, and he said to my mom, "We can't use these tickets anymore. Maybe your daughter would like to take them home and play with them." I don't remember a lot about the rest of our trip into the city that day, but I do remember the next day my mom suggested, after my brother and my sisters went to school, she said, "Why don't you play train in the living room?" And I said, "How do I do that?" And she said, "Well, first we're going to move some of the chairs from the dining room into the living room, and we're going to put them in rows like the seats on a train." I said, "Okay." So she made sure I understood what rows meant, and she had me set them up with her help. And she said, "You want to have room between the chairs so the conductor can come by and check tickets." So I have room between the chairs, and my chairs don't match. They don't have to. We're using our imagination. In my imagination, the chairs match. So I have the chairs. I need tickets. So I don't have any more of those tickets that were given to me when I was a little girl, but I have cardboard from cereal boxes and tea boxes. I have index cards. Let's see what else I have. So I do have some of these tickets on cardboard. I also went through an old magazine and I found some pictures of places I'd like to visit. So this is a place in Minnesota. Doesn't that look nice and calm? So I cut out the picture and I glued it to an empty tea box and I cut the card. And here's a place in Michigan that looks lovely. Let's see, what other tickets do I have? If you don't have pictures from a magazine, you can take your paper and you can write where you want to go on the paper. So that is a ticket to the zoo. Let's see. And I have a ticket to Grandma and Grandpa's. I have a ticket to Cousins. And you can make up your tickets and have them be whatever you want them to be. You can even use regular paper for that or construction paper. Make up your own tickets. You might want to have a map handy. So this is a map of the United States. You could look at different states that you would like to visit. Or here, I have a map of the Stockton, Lodi, Manteca area. And you could use a map from your area. Ask your grown-ups. They might have maps available for you to use. Okay, so I have tickets. I have my conductor's hole punch. How do I know who the conductor is? Conductors on trains wear uniforms so that if you need help, or you need to ask a question, you know who the conductor is. And those uniforms, I think, still include hats. So I have lots of hats, but I don't have a train conductor hat, and I don't have an engineer's hat. Let's see what kind of hats I have to use. This does not look like a train conductor's hat at all. This looks like the hat for a woman who might be going to the beach. So that's not a good hat for it. Good hat for Indiana Jones, but not a train conductor. A fisherman's hat, but not a conductor. Cowboy hat. I only have one hat left. Let's see if this will work. This will work for a conductor's hat. A baseball cap would work too. Maybe some of my passengers would like to wear some of these hats for where they're going. Okay, so my conductor has a hat and my conductor has a hole punch. I have my train seats. I need passengers. I don't have any friends here to play train with me today, but I still need passengers. I know, I'll solve that problem. I have a dinosaur here. This dinosaur is going to be one of my passengers. Let's see. I have Winnie the Pooh here. He's going to be one of my passengers. I need one more passenger, I think. I have a lemur. I think my lemur would be comfortable hanging out in this chair. So I have 3 passengers. Now I need to make sure that they have their tickets. So let's see. Hello there, Mr. Dinosaur. It's a lovely day today to take a trip. Where would you like to go today? Oh, you want to go to the Guadalupe Mountains in Texas? Sure, Mr. Dinosaur, there is your ticket. They'll be coming by to check your ticket soon. Hello there, Mr. Lemur. How are you today? Okay, you're doing well. Where would you like to go today? You want to visit your cousins? Okay, so do you need a ticket that says cousins? Or do you need a ticket that says zoo? Oh, your cousins are at the zoo. Okay, you're meeting your cousins at the zoo. There you go, Mr. Lemur. There is your ticket. Hello there, sir. How are you today? Oh, you have a rumbly in your tumbly. Okay. Where would you like to go, Mr. Pooh? Disneyland. That seems like a good idea. Okay, here is your ticket for Disneyland. Okay. Thank you, passengers, for joining us on our train trip today. The conductor will be by to check your tickets. So the trains are sometimes bumpy, so sometimes the conductor is a little bumpy as he's on the train. Hello there, Mr. Dinosaur. May I see your ticket? Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to check your ticket. And I punched a hole in his ticket to show that he has taken a ride. And the train is rumbling. Hello there, Mr. Lemur. Are you having a comfortable train ride? Yes, we try to make our chairs comfortable for everybody. Glad you're comfortable. I see you're going to the zoo today. Let me check your ticket. Hello there, Mr. Pooh. How are you? Oh, you're going to Disneyland. Have a great trip. And then you can imagine what they're seeing on their trip. Mr. Dinosaur is going all the way to Texas. If we're in San Joaquin County, will the dinosaur get to Texas before Winnie the Pooh gets to Disneyland? Who will get to their destination first? Winnie the Pooh to Disneyland or the dinosaur to Texas? Disneyland is closer than Texas, so Mr. Pooh will be getting off the train first. Goodbye, Mr. Pooh. Have a good time at Disneyland. Okay, so you're going through to Texas, aren't you, Mr. Dinosaur? All right. And Mr. Lemur, I see that you're going to a zoo. Which zoo are you going to? The Los Angeles County Zoo. That's a pretty big zoo. Okay, well, you'll be the next stop, Mr. Lemur. And sometimes the conductor goes to a special place in the back to sit and wait if he has no work to do except watching out for the passengers. And then when it's time to come through again. Hello, Mr. Lemur. I'm going to just check your ticket one more time. We'll be pulling into the Los Angeles County Zoo in about 5 minutes. So gather up your things. Make sure you don't leave any of your belongings on the train. And the train pulls into the station. Have fun, Mr. Lemur. Have a good time visiting your cousins. Well, hello there, Mr. Dinosaur. We have a little bit further to go. Let's see, we're in California and we have to get to Texas. I can check my map. So if we're in California, we have to go through Arizona and New Mexico before we get to Texas. Ooh, I'm starting to see the palm trees give way to cactus out the windows. And we're on the train for a while. We'll be getting to Texas soon, Mr. Dinosaur. Let me check your ticket one more time. There you go. And the train is coming to a stop. Mr. Dinosaur, you have fun in the Guadalupe Mountains. And while you're imagining all of the places your passengers can go, you could look at maps and think about what hills they might see, what parks that you're familiar with that they might see. You can use your imagination to take you anywhere when you're playing train. I hope this inspires you to have some imagination fun. What games can you make up? What places can you visit while sitting at home? Thank you for spending some time with me today. Let your imagination take you anywhere you want to go. Take care. Be well. Travel in your imagination and have lots of fun.